Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to talk with you guys about wrinkles on the face, and specifically 3 areas where wrinkles show up on the face that should make you go, whoa, maybe I need to slow down or reassess these areas in my life. If we think about the face as a topography, which I've mentioned, and in the context of face reading, that's the way we want to look at the face. It's a topography. It's a landform of sorts. The shape of your face, the features on your face point to where you should live, the lifestyle you should live, these kinds of things. So if we take an environment, say like our backyard, and we start to see one portion of the lawn drying up, or we see the branches on a tree starting to become very brittle and weak, we start to pay attention and we say, hey, something's happening with the lawn. The lawn needs some nutrients. That tree needs some fertilizer. Something is off. We see the markers in the environment, we pay attention. Our face is no different. And the beauty and the elegance behind Chinese face reading is that they started to notice over many thousands of years that when certain wrinkles were showing up on the topography of the face, it meant something. And there were some cautions as they saw that and thought, ooh, we better reassess, be careful here. And that's what we're going to talk about. So the first 3 spots, okay, are going to be between the eyes, on the philtrum, and right here, below the mouth and above the chin. So the first one we're going to talk about is between the eyes. When we have a strong, pronounced horizontal wrinkle that has formed or is in the process of forming, what this points to is a discrepancy in the diet. Now, you might have this line and go, wait a minute, but I'm perfectly vegan, or I'm perfectly keto, or I'm perfectly macrobiotic or paleo. Whatever it is that you're doing doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. What it means is that diet might not be perfect for you. So the first thing is we have to enjoy what we're eating. That's one of the reasons this line can form. Now, this idea of enjoying our food, people, sometimes that seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes people really skip over that. If you are paleo, if you are vegan, if you're macrobiotic, it doesn't really matter. Whatever your diet is, you need to love it. You need to really look forward to your meals. This idea of physiological fire, very prevalent in Ayurvedic medicine, very prevalent in Chinese medicine, but this basic idea is there needs to be joy when you eat. Positive emotional states elicit positive biochemistry in the body. We produce better hormones, better emotions, the brain works more optimally. Everything is better when our mood is good. So if we're eating a perfectly healthy vegan meal, but we're like, God, this sucks and I hate it, it's not going to digest well. We're not going to make good vital energy from that meal. So that's one reason that wrinkle can form is you're not enjoying your food. Now, if you enjoy McDonald's, that doesn't count. That's just bullshit food. So you can't enjoy McDonald's and get away with that. There are some parameters, of course. Now, the second one is, the first one, like I said, is you're not enjoying your food. The second one is your body is not assimilating the food you're eating, which means possibly gut issues. Maybe you have leaky gut. Maybe you have some intestinal inflammation. Maybe you have something going on in your stomach, but something is not going well. And then the third one is that you're eating the McDonald's food. You're eating fast food. You're eating just garbage, processed food, lots of canned food, lots of food lacking vitality and energy. So if you're getting this line, okay, any of these lines, I should always say this, it's a disclaimer. If you have these lines, don't freak out. It doesn't mean imminent death. It doesn't mean you're going to keel over. But what it means is these areas of your life need reassessment. You need to slow down. You need to check it out. Don't wait on this, because when these lines and these wrinkles are forming, what it's saying is that down the road it's going to cause problems. It will hit, it will hit your constitutional strength eventually. What the Chinese call your jing, your foundational essence that gives you the strength throughout life. So if you don't address these, that's the area that it's going to hit eventually. Now, the next one is here, right across the philtrum. What this points to is shallow breathing, a problem or a discrepancy in your breathing. Breathing is really important for immune response, inflammation, to keep inflammation down, I should say, to make sure we have proper blood flow, mood. All these things are dependent upon breathing. So people who are chronically anxious and depressed are oftentimes chronically shallow breathers. It's very difficult to stay depressed when you're breathing deep and full. So when we see this line, discrepancy in breathing, your breathing needs attention. You need to take up Wim Hof. You need to take up Qigong. You need to take up yoga, something that has a systemized breathing or some kind of practice that just gets you into your breath. Maybe it's just exercise. Depends. The next one is here. This one is pointing to the lifestyle, essentially saying that you are burning the candle from both ends. So the more pronounced each of these wrinkles is, the more pronounced the problem is. But this one here is saying you're burning the candle from both ends. You've got hamsters on both ends, running and spinning. That means your mind is way too active. Maybe you're too physically active, or a mixture of both. But something is going on where you're burning the candles from both ends, and that's where the self-inquiry comes in. And also where guidance comes in. Working with someone like myself, working with a functional medicine person. There's lots of different ways to do it, but this is the way that we want to think about the face when we're looking at these wrinkles. So this basic idea that if we go back and look at the face as a topography, we look at it as a landform, because that's what face reading really is. Your facial features point to, like I said, where you live, the attributes and the personality traits that you have and the things that you can engage that'll be optimal for you. But if we're looking at the face and we start to see these are the ones where we need to slow down. We have to think of these as a problem in our backyard, right? The lawn is getting dry. The leaves are falling off the tree. Things are getting brittle ahead of season. So the invitation I want to offer up to you guys is to pay attention to these wrinkles on your face. Pay attention that some wrinkles are what they call lucky. Some are not. Some are saying you got to slow down. It needs reassessment. So if you guys want a face reading, you'd like to work with me, I'm more than happy to work with you. And just know that in the context of the way I work, this is what I do with people. If they're going to work with me long term in any capacity, it's a requirement that people get a facial reading with me first. And that's not to extract more money out of them. That's so I can fundamentally assess where you're leaking, where things are starting to maybe break down a little bit, so that we can seal those up and then build out the other pillars out of my system. I have 5 pillars in my system, the 5 pillars of health. The first one is face reading, and then we have seasonal eating, what they call dietetics. We've got movement discipline, various styles of meditation or ways to calm the thinking mind down, and then feng shui, the external environment. How do we shape your environment optimally to you, depending on your face? So again, this is my invitation to you guys. Consider that the wrinkles on your face mean something, and that if these are on your face, reach out. Work with me. And if you don't like me, work with somebody else. But don't let them just stay there. They do mean something, and we want to prevent problems before they start. Thanks a bunch.